Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the auditorium hall. On behalf of the committee, I would like to thank you for taking the time to attend this seminar. I would also like to thank our partner for today, Healthy Gamer Foundation, a coaching and fundraising company built by the gaming community. My name is Widya Kristina Dewi, and I will be the master of ceremony on today's seminar of how video games transform us. In this modern society, entertainment comes in so many forms, be it for adults or for children. Just like the previous generation, this new generation not only play games outside with their friends, but they also play games in digital form, or as we like to call it, video games. Oftentimes, they spend too much time in front of the monitor. But today, we will not only be talking about the negative side, but also the benefit that comes from video games, especially on how it could impact ourselves and our future. Our agenda for today is the opening, and then the second speech, followed by coffee break and performance from our guest star, and then the last agenda is closing. Introducing our speakers for today, Jane McGonigal, a game designer and author who advocates the use of mobile and digital technology to channel positive attitudes and collaboration in a real-world context. Next, William Collis is sports expert and professor of esports management. Last but not least, Herman Narula, CEO of Improbable Worlds Limited. Please give them a round of applause. We will start this event with a word from Jane McGonigal. The floor is yours.
To post photos. We piloted this game with 1,700 players in 2007, and we've tracked them for the 3 years since. And I can tell you that this is a transformative experience. Nobody wants to change how they live just because it's good for the world or because we're supposed to. But if you immerse them in an epic adventure and tell them, we've run out of oil, this is an amazing story and adventure for you to go on. Challenge yourself to see how you would survive. Most of our players have kept up the habits that they learned in this game. So for the next world-saving game, we decided to aim higher, bigger problem than just peak oil. We did a game called Superstruct at the Institute for the Future. And the premise was a supercomputer has calculated that humans have only 23 years left on the planet. The supercomputer was called the Global Extinction Awareness System, of course. We asked people to come online, almost like a Jerry Bruckheimer movie. You know Jerry Bruckheimer movies? You form a dream team, you've got the astronaut, the scientist, the ex-convict, and they all have something to do to save the world. But in our game, instead of just having 5 people on the dream team, we said everybody's on the dream team, and it's your job to invent the future of energy, the future of food, the future of health, the future of security, and the future of the social safety net. We had 8,000 people play that game for 8 weeks. They came up with 500 insanely creative solutions that you can go online if you Google Superstruct and see. So finally, the last game, we're launching it March 3rd. This is a game done with the World Bank Institute. If you complete the game, you will be certified by the World Bank Institute as a social innovator, class of 2010, working with universities all over sub-Saharan Africa, and we are inviting them to learn social innovation skills. We've got a graphic novel, we've got leveling up in skills like local insight, knowledge networking, sustainability, vision, and resourcefulness. I would like to invite all of you to please share this game with young people anywhere in the world, particularly in developing areas, who might benefit from coming together to try to start to imagine their own social enterprises to save the world. So I'm going to wrap up now. I want to ask a question. What do you think happens next? We've got all these amazing gamers. We've got these games that are kind of pilots of what we might do, but none of them have saved the real world yet. Well, I hope that you will agree with me that gamers are a human resource that we can use to do real-world work, that games are a powerful platform for change. We have all these amazing superpowers, blissful productivity, the ability to weave a tight social fabric, this feeling of urgent optimism and the desire for epic meaning. I really hope that we can come together to play games that matter, to survive on this planet for another century. And that's my hope, that you will join me in making and playing games like this. When I look forward to the next decade, I know 2 things for sure: that we can make any future we can imagine, and we can play any games we want. So I say, let the world-changing games begin.
Games indeed are a powerful platform for change. Thank you very much, Miss Jane McGonigal. Mr. William Collis, the floor is yours.
Category of skill required to master esports is strategic skill, sometimes called macro. And this governs the larger tactical choices gamers make. And I'd liken strategic skill to mastery of chess. You have to plan attacks and counterattacks and manipulate the digital battlefield to your advantage. But crucially, unlike chess, esports are constantly evolving. A popular esport like Fortnite can patch almost every week. And even the most competitive esports, like Rainbow Six Siege, update every quarter. And these changes aren't just cosmetic. They introduce new abilities, new heroes, new maps. Constant change requires adaptivity. It asks esports pros to do more than just practice, but to theorize and invent. Now, gamers call this constantly evolving suite of strategies the meta, short for the metagame. And it would be like if every few weeks the rules of basketball fundamentally evolved. Maybe three-pointers are now worth 5 points, or NBA pros can dribble out of bounds. If this happened, basketball would permit for new strategies to win games. And the teams that discovered these new strategies first would have a big, if temporary, advantage. And this is exactly what happens in esports every time there's a patch or update. Competitive gaming rewards its most creative and unconventional thinkers with free wins. Now, the last category of skill required to be good at esports is leadership, sometimes referred to as shot calling. Esports pros are constantly in private voice chat communications with their teammates, supplemented by a system of in-game pings. This is what allows a team of League of Legends pros to coordinate a spectacular barrage of five-man ultimates, flashing in to capitalize on a minor mispositioning by their opponents. And leadership skill is also what allows game captains to rally their teammates in moments of crisis and inspire them to make one last risky all-in assault on the opposing base. And I'd argue this is the same type of leadership exuded by executives and team captains everywhere. It's the ability to seize opportunity, clearly and decisively communicate decisions, and inspire.
Strategic and competitive are such strong words and strong skills to have as well. Thank you very much, Mr. William Collis. Now please welcome Mr. Herman Arula to the stage. The floor is yours.
Is in the audience. But if we take a moment to try to look at what video games are already becoming in our lives today, and what just a little bit of technological advancement is about to create, it starts to become more of an inevitability. And I think the possibilities are quite electrifying. So let's just take a moment to think about scale. I mean, there's already 2.6 billion people who play games. And the reality is that's a billion more than 5 years ago, a billion more people in that time. No religion, no media, nothing has spread like that. And there's likely to be a billion more when Africa and India gain the infrastructure to sort of fully realize the possibilities of gaming. But what I find really special is, and this often shocks a lot of people, is that the average age of a gamer, like have a guess, think about it. It's not 6, it's not 18, it's not 12. It's 34. It's older than me. And that tells us something, that this isn't entertainment for children anymore. This is already a medium like literature or anything else that's becoming a fundamental part of our lives. You know, one stat I like is that people who generally picked up gaming in the last sort of 15, 20 years generally don't stop. Something changed in the way that this medium is organized. And more than that, it's not just play anymore, right? You've heard some examples today, but people are earning an income playing games, and not in the obvious ways. Yes, there's esports, there's prizes, there's the opportunity to make money in a competitive way, but there's also people earning incomes modding games, building content in them, doing art in them.
That shows that there's so much more than just playing to game. Thank you very much, Mr. Herman Arula. Once again, please give our speakers today a round of applause. Now please enjoy the performance from our guest by cover. And that concludes our event for today. Once again, thank you for our audiences, our speakers, and our guest star. We wish you a safe trip on your way back home. See you again.